I'm important. My mom told me so. I was the firstborn in our family. I got a certificate of participation in soccer when I was 6. I was picked to care for my 4th grade class's rabbit over spring break, and I am currently standing in first place for the most points in a Family Jeopardy game. As you can see, I've always been pretty important. But I am one person. One person in a family of 4. One person in a class of 174. One person in a school of 759. One person in a town of 182,000. One member of the constantly growing world population of 7.3 billion people. We share this planet with 7.3 billion people. And as I've learned here at Appleby, 7.3 billion important people. Appleby has taught me that we are not the center of the universe. As blunt as that sounds, it's a pretty common misconception. It's so easy to get caught up in all of your day-to-day issues. Tests, friendship drama, no more muffins in the dining hall because you got out of chapel too late. I'll try to get through this fast. Etc. Stepping outside of the small Oakville bubble and really seeing the world can be a great self-growth experience, as you truly learn that there is so much more to see, so much more to understand, so much more to appreciate than what we have right here. There's a quote that has resonated with me for a while. I even based my university application essay around it. It was said by Frantz Fanon, a philosopher who focused on existentialism and the decolonization struggles occurring after World War II. He stated, "In the world through which I travel, I am endlessly creating myself." Through new experiences, you develop and change as an individual. I was born in Portland, Maine, the most northeast state in the U.S. I lived there for 5 years and then moved to Tampa Bay, Florida, due to my mom's job. I lived in Tampa for 5 years. Next, Westlake, Texas, a small ranch town with a population of less than 1,000 people. The town consisted of neighborhoods, country clubs, golf courses, Westlake Academy, my school, and Circle T Ranch. When I was 12, I learned that I was moving to a new country, Oakville, Ontario, Canada. This summer, my family and I are moving to Naples, Florida. I'll be going to university in either Denver, Philadelphia, Fairfield, Connecticut, Baltimore, or even Omaha, Nebraska. Why am I telling you all of this? You're all probably thinking, "Yeah, Madison, great, you moved a lot, good for you." But it's more than that. I learned how to change. Change has a bad reputation. It's always along the lines of, "Oh wow, she's really changed," or "Ever since he's been hanging out with those guys, he's just changed." Of course, change can be a bad thing if you go from a kind, straight-A student to some kind of drug dealer, but that really isn't the case most of the time. An important lesson that I learned at a young age was that you can outgrow interests. I personally believe that the best example of an individual that truly embodies this is Troy Bolton of High School Musical. Think about it. He's a crazy good basketball star, but soon realizes he loves drama, like singing and dancing and acting. Oh no, what does he do? Well, he suffers through an internal conflict, struggles between choosing basketball to impress his buds or to choose drama to impress his girlfriend, but he really loves both. Apparently, this issue is really prevalent in East High School, as the musical number "Stick to the Status Quo" really highlights the theme of you are permanent and you can't change interests. Eventually, Troy learns that he can, in fact, change interests, as he is a human being, and he decides that he wants to do both. Beautiful story. Unfortunately, true morals. When you don't connect with what you're quote-unquote known for anymore, It's a really scary thing to face that change. Another lesson that I learned about change is that you can outgrow people. You can outgrow friends. If you had the same exact friend group that you had in grade 5, imagine how different your life would be. As your values and interests change, your taste in friends changes. It just makes sense. As you grow older and further develop as an individual, you subsequently change. You have to nurture who you are today, not try to resurrect who you were 2 years ago, 2 months ago, even 2 days ago. I mean, change is a natural part of life, right? You might as well embrace it. And right now is the perfect time to embrace change. New year, new you. But seriously, it's 2016. This same year, the grade 12s will leave Appleby and start a new chapter, university. The grade 9s will be going into grade 10, which means that they will be the leaders of their grade band. And they'll also be experiencing the Appleby rite of passage, winter tomogamy. This type of change is inevitable. It's okay to be fearful, as long as you go into it with an open mind and a positive attitude. Take it from me. I've done a fair share of moving, and I've been to 5 different schools, and I'm sure this is nothing compared to many people in this chapel today. In summary, change is good, change is great, change is inevitable, and change helps us develop into more well-rounded individuals. Change can also include travel. Traveling is a great way to learn more about the world and learn more about yourself in the process. I mean, with all of the trips, intercultural events, and diverse student and faculty body, Appleby shapes us into global citizens as it is. However, through the world through which we travel, we are endlessly creating ourselves. If you were to Google Appleby College, what would come up? The school website, pictures of the campus, the prefects, the sports games, maybe a few pictures from service projects, YouTube videos promoting the school, showcasing athletics, chapel speeches, or service learning. You would get a good idea of the school. You could say that Appleby is a school that is strong in the academics, athletics, arts, and service learning. They have a boarding component, and they seem very multicultural. You couldn't say Appleby is a school where everyone is connected in some way, and there is a certain feeling of unity that you instantly feel when you step onto campus. Everyone is extremely open-minded, etc. You would know the facts about the school, but you can't truly understand something without seeing it yourself. You can Google Mongolia, or Tomogamy, or China, but you won't understand the true power of a genuine smile, or the bonding experience of being stuck in a broken-down bus for 4 hours in the Mongolian countryside, or the feeling of waking up in a giant snowball surrounded by your peers and realizing that you, in fact, survived a night in sub-zero temperatures, and that you're actually kind of warm. Or the surprisingly good taste of chicken feet and the intense battle of bargaining with the salesperson for a fake pair of Nike Frees, unless you experience it firsthand. These experiences truly changed my perspective and made me see the world in a new light. They made me who I am today. I am 100% positive that I would be a different person with different values if I never took the opportunities that Appleby gives you to see the world in its true colors. When you go on an Appleby service project or even an intercultural trip, you don't stay in a 5-star hotel. You don't eat at restaurants that only serve burgers and salad, and you don't shop at westernized malls and stores. You stay with host families or a local hostel. You eat the same exact things that the locals do, and you shop at the markets and street vendors. You truly immerse yourself in the culture, and you realize that the world really isn't that dissimilar. You slowly learn that you can find a home anywhere you go. Traveling is an amazing avenue for change, as you get the chance to see and experience things that you would never get the chance to do otherwise. Taking opportunities to go out of your comfort zone and travel is a great way to develop and mature. However, change doesn't mean go out and go on a 100-day road trip around although that would be pretty amazing. Change means self-growth. You can travel across the entire universe and not change. You can stay right at home and change. It is truly important to realize that you, as a person, are constantly changing. Think about yourself when you were in grade 7. New to middle school, maybe new to this school, maybe even new to this country, new friends, new outfit choices, new social pressures, new academic challenges. Now think. Imagine if you were that exact same person now. Terrifying, isn't it? Thank God we aren't. We changed. We developed into different versions of ourselves. The thing is, when you were younger, you probably thought that you didn't need to change. You weren't constantly thinking, what the heck? Why do I even like this sport or this band or this TV series? However, there's always room for improvement. Self-growth is something that needs to happen in order to mature, and it's going to happen for the better or the worse no matter what you do, so you might as well make it for the better. Something that I learned is that people aren't going to remember how you looked on the 24th of September 2015, but they're going to remember that you let them borrow your calculator a period before a big test when they went into a panic because they realized they forgot theirs at home. People won't remember that you didn't end up going to that one party, but they'll remember that you sat with them at lunch when they were sitting alone. People won't remember when you said a completely wrong answer with a lot of confidence in class, but they will remember how you made them feel when you gave them a random compliment. People simply won't remember the little material things that occur. People will remember you by the kind things you do for others. Self-growth means you are developing your mind to be the best it can be. Self-growth to me is being able to be a more open-minded, empathetic, and confident individual. Self-growth allows you to be able to look back on your high school self and say, why would I ever wear that? But at least I was pretty open-minded, empathetic, and confident. Developing into a kinder person is something that would greatly benefit everyone, including me. You can change as a person through developing your mind to the greatest thing it can be. In the end, change is an important part of life, and for the most part, it's inevitable. You can, and probably will, outgrow interest in people. I mean, if Troy Bolton did it, you can too. Traveling is an extremely eye-opening and even comforting experience as you realize that people, no matter where they live or how they were raised, really aren't that different from you. Not only that, your perspective on the world develops and you realize that the world actually doesn't revolve around you. Also, it's crucial to understand that you can only develop as a better person if you really, honestly, actually want to. Lastly, if you only take one thing away from this speech, remember this. You are only defined by yourself. No one is holding you to anything. You could wake up tomorrow and say, you know what? I don't like basketball anymore. I don't like sciences anymore. I don't like the way I dress anymore. And that is completely okay. You are allowed to develop and grow as an individual. You are allowed to transform into the person you want to be. You are your own controller. You can change. Now, can you all please rise and sing hymn number 3, Morning Has Broken?